Well, at least there's one positive of this huge drop. Bitcoin dominance is at like 56%.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, that's pretty close to what it was. I think it's almost exactly what it was on that whole write up last fall or in November. It was right
Mhm.
about this dominance level too, which of course, we all know dominance market cap really doesn't mean much, but it's really all you can go by. So
Well, in that one report we put out last week, there was kind of a level of resistance at like 63% on that. So let's see if the alts kind of react at all, I guess, if we push into that 60% dominance level.
mhm.
So it's a
Yeah,
few people joining in.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, after this whole weekend, I think I have like whiplash now because of how fast the sentiment change is like down $200. This is the end of the world, and then it went up like $200, and we're gonna hit all time highs tonight. It's like
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it's
Well,
fun to watch, but
I think cyclically, I mean, we pretty good being patient last week. I kind of feel like I still, before I bought back in like futures or any stuff that we sold, I kind of still want to see that 6,000 levels. What do you guys think? I mean, just a little bit lower. We got an 8 count today on the 8.6 frequency, and we can see their daily cycle is finally low.
you know,
Um,
probably ideally we would see it. But I mean, I was at the fifth or sixth time now we've hit that six.
yeah.
I mean, that's
And,
how many more times are we going to hit that before, we can call it a bottom.
and we got the 8 here on the daily. We can kind of watch whether or not we can kind of change the intermediate term. I didn't look at the 4 hour yet today. Let's see. The 4 hour cycle kind of rolling over. What's up, Nick? M.
Bid right under 59, huh?
You got that bid in down there? What's up, Scotty? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's always kind of weird over the weekend when you don't have futures open either. The intermediate term pivots basically right here at 64.43. Bands are all still negatively sloping. If you get above 64.43, then I kind of would kind of expect us to move back to pi up here. 6,800, that makes sense. That was the level we kind of broke down from. All this congestion right here. But Ether's still grabbing the headlines, right? Below 200. I mean, looks like 130 is it, huh?
Yeah, it's been trying to poke its head up back up over 200, and it just can't. It can't keep it up there. I think we got back over, yeah, almost up to 210, and then just right back down. It's just lower highs on the shorter time frames.
Our daily cycle is low. Finally there also.
Yeah, but at the same time, the last move down, the daily cycle stayed below 20 on the stochastics for like 2 weeks, which is not good.
Yeah, it did. You're right. It just kind of ribboned. It just ribboned down there on the lows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're also seeing, shorts hitting all-time highs. So I know the longs are still kind of underwater for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
but having all-time high shorts at these kind of levels with this, stochastics like that, he's just asking for some sort of squeeze. People are getting a little too eager to keep playing these lows, I think.
Yeah.
Sure, I think we should prepare for the 130 level, but I just don't understand why someone would try playing it to the 130 level.
Oh yeah, I agree. There are a lot of people buying lower lows this entire way down. It's not.
Yeah, and I mean, people that don't, haven't really been following how you trade, for instance, will think you're playing that. You say the 130 level. People are thinking, well, all right, maybe I'll load up a short here if he says 130. Really, what you mean, you're waiting to hit that level, not you're looking to play that with a leveraged, short.
Yeah, I think the shorts are kind of, if you've been short, it's been a good trade, obviously. And I think last week those shorts probably made a decent amount. And I think you're kind of overstaying your welcome. I guess if I was short, I'd be trailing a piece out with this pivot here. As long as we're below this real money candle, and then maybe just ride it to 130. That's not what we have on.
Yeah.
It's still technically pretty broken.
Be sure to retweet that real quick too. I think I tagged you in it.
Oh, okay.
The Litecoin's still hitting that. Man, everything's just, all these charts look the same except for Ethereum. Ethereum seemed to pull away a little bit harder than the rest. And I mean, I think it's just because of this ICO. I think I tweeted out that, the amount of money that was raised in ICOs this year. And then you have that kind of money just sitting there kind of itching. They're a little more, I think, a little more panicky than just, all these other markets, because, these ICOs rely on it. Like I think we talked about last time, and, they rely on it. So they're quicker to sell. And I think that's really about it. Everyone's, there's a lot of news about like what Vitalik said, and, some of these articles that were written about Ethereum. I don't think that's the case just yet.
Has he been communicating stuff lately?
It was mostly just, it was not really much, but it was kind of a little negative. Just the fact that, we're done seeing those like 1,000-time increases, which kind of means that everyone's kind of already knows what crypto is for the most part. But that doesn't mean that, the adoption's there. It just means that people have heard about it, I think, is what he kind of meant.
Yeah. What are you guys YouTube trading today? Some of you guys have been short, I think. Yeah, I'm not shorting right here. I'm not. No. On Ether, no. Litecoin seems kind of sticky at 50. But again, you're just kind of hoping that we double bottom. You're still making lower lows. I think when we start to measure some of these coins in BTC, we're getting to pretty extreme levels. We talked about it, Chris. You were talking about you'd like to see it back here last week. Not too far away. 0.02 Ether versus BTC. Kind of a no-brainer, really.
Lots of opportunities on lots of cheap coins.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the time where, everyone's been waiting for. It's kind of hard to keep saying it because, how many times have people said, buy the dip, and then, buy the dip of that dip, and then 6 months later, it's still dipping down, which, it's hard to say, but, you should really try to hold on to something, some of these really smaller cap, just, I don't know, I got a small percentage still in those. I'm down, but I mean, if it's just a small percentage, it's it's just something you should hold on to.
Yeah.
Well, and like we were just talking about with BTC dominance getting to quite high levels now, it seems like it's setting up for kind of a return to the market conditions that we had back in November, December of last year.
Yeah.
So
you mean like a rotation where alts catch a bid?
Yeah, well, once we see kind of that reversal in BTC, like we did in November, when BTC really started moving up and really took over in dominance, and then it kind of flipped with alts picking back up as well.
56%. Huh?
Yeah, like you said, you can take a look. It's kind of near in the same levels as it did, in that last run up, which is good to see, I think. But I think dominance probably Bitcoin's probably 70% when you take away some of these inflated market caps. But
yeah, I mean, to me, it's just kind of like either if BTC breaks out with the dominance up here, then these alts are gonna really probably play a lot of catch up. Or the other scenario is to bring this spread in is these alts just stay on the bottom and BTC rolls over. It's definitely widening out. I think you get back to 60%, it's going to have the same. This spread's going to widen again, just like it did, like in November, December. What other metrics do you guys look at on CoinMarketCap?
I don't know. I don't think there's really much.
It's just the users on. Looked like you could see the users on the right hand side.
Yeah, I mean, you can only really go by wallets, which is kind of tough for a lot of these because when you think of like people like to point out, oh, there's only so many wallets on like a certain coin. You have to think about exchanges and how many like Coinbase. Can you imagine them? There's like 11 million users that could all be under a handful of wallets. 11 million people or however many users they have. So it's really tough right now. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really use CoinMarketCap for much than just kind of general, whatever, just a quick, snapshot of the markets. That's really about it.
Yeah, a lot of people like to look at volume and those types of metrics. And Alec and I were talking about this last week, that it's not a very decent metric to go off of just because of the amount of manipulation that kind of happens on exchanges in their current form, where we have lots of wash trading or just flat out volume manipulation. Like, and not to knock Binance, I use Binance a lot. It's a great exchange, but when they're holding competitions for cars, it says, whoever has the most volume on Cardano is going to get, $100,000 sports car. And people just sit there and just trade it back and forth, and it artificially pumps volume. So it's like, that's not worthwhile.
That's a great point.
Yeah, we were seeing some numbers that possibly as much as like 90% of volume on some exchanges is artificial. It's not actual volume. So I think it's a little bit of a pitfall when people look at that, but
yeah, some of those Binance promotion stunts are pretty out there. So some of you guys are trading Nano. Nick, you're saying you missed it, or you did get it. You got your eye in an entry. I mean, to me, it's kind of sticks out is just we're halfway back this wall, halfway back down this wall. So you got this, and then halfway. So their cycle's low. I wouldn't be surprised if we make a higher low here and turn back up. Let's take a look at it versus BTC. A different exchange on that one. I haven't traded Nano in forever. It's a pretty strong move up here this summer, quite honestly. There's a lot of volume above the bands. This looks pretty good. You got a pretty good high probability of getting a higher low in here with the cycle. So it makes sense to be kind of trying to grab some back at pi here on the 4 hour. Kind of like that. Doge.
I mean, as long as everyone likes saying how, there's no demand, there's no interest in cryptocurrencies, right? These headlines keep one after another. Demand's dying, interest is dying. Yet when you look at the daily trading volume of Dogecoin, it kind of gives me hope that someone's buying Dogecoin. So that means everything else must be worth something, right?
What is this? The only coin that are pumping? Chart's been on fire. Yeah, you got to be taking some here. Definitely can't be chasing, but that's a good buy if you guys have been long. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You're basically up 8 candles though into a new high, so you definitely want to take.
There's also a pretty clear 50% retrace on that wall up
here, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, if you had sold into that and then rebought, that was fantastic.
Yeah, and you held the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that coin's got some momentum, huh?
There's a lot of really weird correlations on Doge and BTC pricing too. So it's a pretty interesting coin to look at.
What else are you guys looking at? I can't say I participated in that move. You guys have been pretty active on Dojo last week, commenting in our room. It was probably one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been doing much trading this weekend. Mostly just been trying to keep up with all the latest developments. TechCrunch is going on. It's a few interesting stories coming out this week. Like, I don't know, last hour, do you see Gemini is going to have their own stable coin?
Yeah, I guess that's
It's good. Good if you're a trader or investor, I guess. It's actually going to be something too where you can, like Tether, you can't trade Tether in for dollars. Like they stopped doing that. So your Tether is only worth $1 because that's what everyone else says it's worth. But
I see.
but Gemini, they're actually going to have like a more of a stable coin where you can actually convert that back into dollars at Gemini. So it's a little bit different.
A little bit more seamless going back to fiat.
It actually can go back to fiat.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I think as a trader, that's going to help a lot. I mean, that's going to be the alternative. Why would someone use Tether when you can actually get dollars back whenever you want?
Yeah. I like it. There's definitely a time and place to be rolling out of BTC and sitting in dollars or something that's not going to go down. These prices making lower lows. And you can buy a lot more coin when you do get back to these levels. I mean, I'm thinking about EOS still, kind of watching it at 5. I think Binance down here is kind of interesting to me. Mondays for me is kind of like Tuesdays is kind of tend to reverse. This is like the 8th day down in futures. So I just want to see if we can get one more push down and then maybe try to add to a few things. Neo, we talked about last week, looks pretty stupid levels again. What do you guys have on your list? Man, I haven't looked at Sol.
Bitcoin and some more Bitcoin.
Dash has also been doing pretty well lately.
Let's look at the relative value. See what moved this weekend. And Monero, I kind of like Monero down here. Yeah, you're right. Look at Dash really sticking out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow any sort of Dash news or anything, but there's got to be something news related to pull away that much, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was so low, but that's definitely some performance over the weekend near term. Cardano is back on the lows. Bitcoin Cash on the lows. IOTA's kind of been in the middle of the pack. It's kind of outperformed a little bit.
Yeah. I think the whole thing that supposedly started this whole drop was that Goldman article. Do you guys get that initially? You guys following that?
Yeah.
They're not going to do a trading desk. They're going to focus on custodial solutions, which makes complete sense, to begin with. Which I don't understand was negative, and then that whole thing was even taken back.
Well, we've had a couple call with some guys that are in touch. I mean, Brennan's been up to New York a couple times too, and they were kind of posturing like they got crypto stuff going on, but I mean they're not anywhere close to really having a full-fledged desk going. So I don't know what that says. If that means they're just too establishment and they don't want crypto competing, they don't want to entertain it. I think it's just a lot of regulation.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, Alec, it's probably like they got to get the custody stuff situated first before, they're the big clients. What are they going to do? They're going to have a pension fund. Like, it's just going to take a while for all the pipes and infrastructure on that side to get set up. which is good for us, for, firms that want to build out the space, and the old big guys are going to be a little bit slower moving.
Yeah, it's just crazy because it's obviously what kind of caused the catalyst there. And I just don't get why people even bother to sell the news like that. They've been falling for it for years, it seems like. But I guess there's always fresh traders, fresh capital. So
yeah.
I mean, I think the only I don't know why someone would sell their coins based on that. Maybe if they're just speculating a small amount, trying to play it around, trading the news. But I don't know about you, but I don't think I know any successful traders that trade the news.
Yeah,
repeatedly. It's just a 50-50 shot at that point.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at Dash. I'm curious now. Oh, Cardano too. We're 7 handle, almost that 5-cent level. That'd probably be one we'll pull the trigger on too.
Yeah, I'm looking to pick up a lot of Cardano if we get down to that 5-cent level.
Mm-hmm. Daily cycle is awfully low. What's the volume look like? Not much.
Plus, lining up with the third week of September thing that we've been talking about, third, fourth week.
Yeah, great point.
Got a lot of testnet stuff coming out here towards the end of this month and then into next month. So hopefully they see some good movement off of that.
So that kind of lines up.
Mm-hmm.
Dash is making a higher low, so that's pretty constructive. It's kind of trying to work its way back above the bands. Yeah, definitely cheaper to get a master node now.
I don't get the point of that coin. Is it just to print master nodes? I don't get it.
Just to print your own.
I just don't get it. Maybe I think the master node thing is one of the best selling tactics I've ever seen. I can't imagine how. When you just think about the idea of master node, like I want one. Like everyone wants one.
Yeah.
Even though you hate the coin, like you still want one just because of how it's like you buy enough coins and it's like you're printing money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Still 1,000 coins for master node on Dash. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Cardano had a flash crash? You mean the last 8 months? It's pretty much a flash crash. On Binance? Maybe just because everybody's trading for a car like Chris is talking about.
Yeah.
How's Aeon looking? Besides cheap. Man. Alec, you got some of Aeon, right?
Aeon, yeah, I think.
I know Noah's still
just kind of, yeah. Yeah, they're really pumping out to build up that ecosystem. They're really trying to be one of those big players for the smart contract platform.
Oh yeah, pretty good little intraday move. You wonder how much traded down there. If it was a bad print, but somebody bought pretty well. What percentage move is that off the low? 10%. That's a good size move. Well, all right. Well, it's kind of a slow day for crypto guys. We just trying to be on live a little bit more. It'll be more exciting once this market picks up again.
Yeah. There's not much to say here really, besides that flash crash on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Just still looking at those levels down there at 130, looking to play, but definitely not shorting. Maybe a little bit, but maybe something just to play around with. But
yeah, no, the risk reward is so horrible down here to be short.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you've been short and then you're just trailing it out. but I think your just risk reward is horrible down here on the short side.
Yeah, we've
Anyway,
already.
so I think for some of you guys that are on our group, we'll probably start to look to maybe add system stuff tomorrow. We're the first day down since this daily cycle's come down. It hasn't crossed yet, so I think patience is kind of been the right way to play anything that you want to buy this last couple of months.
Yep. Yeah, and we're gonna keep trying to go live here every day at 11 Eastern. So be sure to follow us on that Blockhedge Capital Twitter handle. And that's really about it, I think, today. I don't know about you guys, but
that sounds good. I'm gonna get back to some FX stuff. But thanks for jumping on, guys. Hopefully we'll talk to some of you guys in the chat.
Yeah. Till next time, guys.
All right, Chris, Alec.
See ya.
See you guys.